You know, when people talk about ear pain, the first thing that usually comes to mind is, do I have an ear infection? But if you go to your doc, you get the right test, they look into your ear, they might even do a few scans, but if they find nothing's going on, it's very likely then that there's got to be something else that's actually creating some of the issues. And I want to show you some of those things in this particular video. Now, first up, when we're talking about ear pain, what I need to let you know is that it actually comes in a few different flavors. So what most people think of when there's an ear infection, this is going to be when there's something that's gotten into your ear drum. And so this is not just a matter of pain, discomfort on the outside of your ear. This is something where it feels like it's inside of the ear and pushing outward. But there's a couple things that you may want to know about that. So first and foremost is that, yes, you've got to find out if there is an infection. But if there's not actually infection, okay, well, how is it possible that you could be having pain without it? And I'm going to raise this as a possibility. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a little model here so that you can see what I'm referring to. What this actually is this is a big giant blow up of your skull, top vertebra in your neck called your atlas or your C1, and then the C2, aka axis vertebra. And located right in front of those is going to be a little spot right here. And just to give you a point of reference, your ear would be sitting somewhere right about here. And so my point is that there is a particular nerve that comes off of the base or through the skull right at this area here in front of your atlas, and it's called your glossopharyngeal nerve. Do not worry about the big fancy name. My point is that there's a branch of that particular nerve that actually supplies the sensation on the inside of your ear. So if that is actually irritated, either inside of the skull or as it comes down the skull in front of that atlas, it's possible then that what you could get is you can get the exact same sensation that something's wrong, when the reality is it's not because of an actual infection. Now, you can also have a few other kinds of similar ear-related issues that actually are involving this same area right through here. One of them is if you have an issue with the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve, it's responsible for your heart, lungs, digestive system, but it's also the one that's going to come out in that exact same location, and it's going to supply two additional things. Number one, it's going to supply the connective tissue that protects your brain, and so if it's irritated there, you might feel a migraine. But what it also does is it supplies this area, the skin right through here, on that little bump right there, something called a tragus, and also this area as it comes just behind your ear at the tip of the skin, right at the very top of your neck. So same thing, if you've got something irritated here, maybe you could be having ear pain, but it's actually not because of the infection. It could very well be because there's actually something wrong with your neck. It can also be that if you have the pain not here, but here, go one finger width forward. You're not pointing at your ear anymore. Now what you're doing is you're pointing at your jaw. And in fact, if you were to actually stick your finger into your ear like this and move your mouth open a couple of times, you're actually going to feel your jaw move. So if something is entrapped in your jaw, it can actually, quote, mimic the idea of ear pain. And one more just for the mix of there is if you have an issue involving the C2 or the C3 vertebra, again, maybe not broken, dislocated, but if something's just jammed a little bit, that's going to have a nerve supply that's going to go like this, over the skin, over the outer part of your ear and the surrounding area like this. So what I simply wanted to illustrate for you is that when people talk about ear pain, there's actually a lot of different flavors, and they can all have different causes, not simply because of an infection. So what do you do at this point? Well, first and foremost is if you've been dealing with ear pain for a while, you're not finding any solutions, the first thing you've got to do, of course, is that you go to your GP and you make sure that you are not dealing with an inner ear infection. If that is ruled out, then one of the most important things that you can do after that is to have a series of proper tests done to find out, is it referred pain that's actually coming from some kind of a mechanical jam involving this area here, the upper part of your neck? And that might be something where we would be able to help you out. So step number one, check with your GP, make sure you rule out the inner ear infection. If they find that everything is clear, then give us a ring and we'll be happy to have a chat with you to find out, what's going on, get a little bit more information, and answer any additional questions that you might have, ultimately so that you can get the best possible long-term solution. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Hanna, and I'm what's called an upper cervical specific chiropractor, which means that I focus on the particular relationship between these upper bones in the neck, your nerve system, and ultimately the health of your body. And we work with people who have been dealing with long challenging kinds of health issues where nobody else can figure out what's going on, so that we can help them rediscover their hope, healing, and ultimately find long-term solutions so that they can enjoy the best quality of life that they actually want to. Well, you can find us at atlashealth.com.au, or you can give us a ring directly at our practice, 0731889329. Atlas Health Australia, where it's all about hope, healing, and well-being from above, down, inside, and out.